everybody. This is S.A. Fourier, owner and editor of Inspired Magazine, and we are here at the Kohl showroom in New York City with Miss Barbara Clarke Ruiz, and she's here as the first African-American woman to have her brand at Kohl's. And that's why we're here today. We're going to show this lady some support, and we want you guys to do the same. How are you doing today, Barbara?
I'm doing awesome. It's so nice to meet you.
Yes, it's a pleasure. So we're here. We're looking at the vibrant colors of your collection, and it just really stood out. What was it that brought this collaboration together with you and Kohl's?
It really started out from Walmart. So the gentleman who hired me at Walmart, he was an executive there, Doug Howe, and he came over to Kohl's. So while I was at Walmart, I was able to do really increase their business in a huge way. And he just remembered that, and I'm on LinkedIn one night, and I was just like, Doug. He's like, Barb. So we just started talking, and he was like, hey, what are you doing? Want to come work with Kohl's? And I'm like, yeah, let's do this. So that's really like how it started. So Doug brought me in, and he's since left Kohl's now, and he went someplace else. But when the opportunity was given to me, it was the first time that the company really said to me, Barb, do whatever you think is the right thing to do. And it's going to be sold primarily in the southern states. It's a limited amount of products, and it's a limited doors. And so I felt like, let me spend some time at Kohl's, the stores, and I did. I went to a few different stores, and I said, you know what, we need color, we need print, and I wanted something that felt a lot more contemporary than I felt like Kohl's has offered in the past, that really speaks to my fashion aesthetic. And so when I started to plan this collection, first thing I thought about, we got to have a bold print.
Yes.
We got to have a bold print. I wanted it to be, obviously, since it was supposed to be activewear inspired, it's sort of like it's an elevated version of Tek Gear. I wanted to make sure that we had like those athletic styles that not only can be in the gym, but it can take you through to the weekend. So
Right.
I wanted her to be able to go to yoga class with her bra and her her legging, but then she could throw our tracksuit over it, and then she could go and have lunch with friends. So I really wanted a well thought out collection that crossed merchandise back to all of the Tek Gear core items. And so there's a men's, women's, girls, and boys collection, and that was still my same thought process. I wanted bold colors that made it a statement. So honestly, this has been a 20-year journey. So I started out my career working for Adidas, and later moved to Europe. And after being in Europe and then the office closing and moved us to Herzogenaurach, Germany, they asked me to be a consultant. I didn't even know what that was.
Wow.
But I ended up consulting with them for 5 years, and I traveled back and forth to Germany once or twice a month. And from there, after I got tired of traveling, I got pregnant, I decided, I'm just going to stay put. I just want to work for domestic brands until I got a call from Fila in Biella, Italy. So then I traveled back and forth to Biella, Italy, and then just from there, just based on some of the relationships that I had fostered while I was in Fontainebleau, a lot of these individuals went on to work for other companies of the same caliber. So I've worked for Fila and New Balance and Asics. I was design director for six of Walmart's activewear divisions, for Disney, for Zoggs, for Speedo. I helped Venus Williams rebrand 11 by Venus, and now I'm here. So in addition to me being an activewear design consultant, I am also an entrepreneur. So I actually have a dog treat company.
Wow.
Called Lick You Silly. So I have a dog treat company, and I'm also working on an initiative with another group of women that is going to be the African American, I don't want to say African, the black version of the Food Network. So that's underway, and we're talking to investors and things like that. So I have like a lot of different projects under my belt. I'm launching my children's book in November. So
I'm sitting here.
A lot of stuff.
Yes, and congratulations on everything, and that's what we love to highlight at Inspire. We came in here knowing that, okay, here's this lady who's coming in to be the first African American to have her designs, her clothing at Kohl's, and now we're hearing entrepreneur, we're hearing all these things, and we're learning about your past. That is what our audience looks for. We look to be inspired and encouraged. What was it that you say had encouraged you or inspired you to take on all these roles and to be successful and good at it, by the way?
I think my inspiration has been just knowing that I could. Like, why not, right? I just wanted to, I'm like, I want to have $50 million in the bank. How do you make that? And so, my goal has just been, there's been some failures, but then there's also been a lot of wins. And so I'm inspired by the exact same thing that your platform does. Like, I love hearing about other people and what their path has been. Like, I love the story that comes along with entrepreneurship because there's always that why. And so I'm inspired by that. And so I just wanted to, when this opportunity came along, I'm like, wow, I'm a trailblazer in this instance. And this is going to open a lot of doors for other designers, not just in activewear, but, Kohl has tons of other divisions. They've got home, they've got tons of things. And there's so many talented small businesses out there that I'm sure would love to be in a position where they could partner with a larger retailer, and there's so many other larger retailers, and they're finally embracing people of color. And so that's been really, enlightening, because we've been so disenfranchised for so long. It's just been so wonderful, like walking down the street and you see a person of color in the windows, like so many windows. And my inspiration comes from everywhere.
Yes, and right now we're being encouraged by you and just how you just explained your path. What type of advice would you give to, those designers who are up and coming, who are looking for their path or looking for their inspiration? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to turn over every single stone, because when I started out on this journey, I just wanted to be a designer. And I didn't even want to be an activewear designer. I went to work for Adidas because of the money. And it ended up turning into a love. And the other thing that I do is that I always go above and beyond. Whenever I have a project, whenever I have a client, I always try to deliver more than what is expected. And that's what people remember, right? People will always remember how you made them feel. And so when these executives are kind of putting their neck out there and they're entrusting you to be able to deliver product that they can sell on the floor on time, that means a lot to them, because I make them look good.
Right.
And so they're like, well, yeah, we want to work with her. I make people's life very easy, and I really listen and I learn from my mistakes. So I would say to any designer out there that's trying to make things happen, there's more than one way to get through a door. Sometimes you got to go under the floor. Sometimes you got to go through the roof. Sometimes you got to go through the chin. Whatever it requires. And no doesn't mean no. No just means not right now.
Right.
So that door is never closed, because there's always an opportunity awaiting you. So don't get discouraged. And, so many times, because I've got a 26-year-old daughter, and, and she'll send out an email and she's like, Mom, I didn't hear back. I'm like, well, then you got 10 more emails to send before you can say it's not going to happen.
Right.
So you just can't be afraid to go out there and really, press in a way that's not pushy, but just try to, don't walk away until you get a definitive answer.
Man, I'm getting never give up, keep going, doesn't matter, as long as you believe it, then you keep going. So
and you create your own path. I think that's what social media has done for us. It's like people creating their own paths and being really successful at it, and and really utilizing social media, because I just saw recently there was a young girl who couldn't find a publisher for her book, so she posted it on social media, and based on the interest, now she's got 3 publishing opportunities, and she just optioned her movie. So I'm like, use social media to your advantage, and really get creative with that.
Listen, we are here with Clarke Ruiz, and she just dropped so many gems, so much inspiration, so much motivation. I want to say I expected it, but you just gave me so much more by sitting here and having this conversation with you, and I thank you for that. And I hope our audience will just listen, hone in, feel that positive energy of never giving up, of doing what you have to do. And, that's what we represent at Inspire. And it's just been an amazing pleasure to speak to you, and looking at your line. Can't wait to try some on.
Awesome.
Very excited. And we also want you all to make sure that you support this woman, support her brand. Go to the website. We're going to put the details in there, and make sure you support this woman, because she deserves it. She's amazing. She put in the work, and if you all can see somebody like this and support them, you do the work yourself, you'll get the same support as well. So definitely, this is S.A. Fourier. We're here at the Kohl showroom, and we're here for Tek Gear all day. Miss Clarke Ruiz. And just an amazing story, just amazing.
Thank you, you're so sweet. And follow this whole journey on, on Instagram. I started posting on TikTok yesterday, because I really wanted people to feel like you know, they're like a part of this. Like I'm so grateful for this opportunity, and I just want to bring people into what that process is. So I've got a lot of behind the scenes to share, and you know, and everything doesn't always go as expected.
Right.
But honestly, this actually did. It exceeded my expectations. So
That's what's up. And this exceeded our expectations. This interview was just so motivating. And again, thank you so much for your time, and y'all stay tuned.